The film begins and it is informed about a universe. Earth's water has also turned poisoned. The remaining inhabitants of the planet were dying of this. Later, he observes people's severed heads there. Those were horrifying. Later, he visits a place where people exchange their luggage with each other. In the market, some powerful people were fighting by pinning their hands. They're called arm wrestlers. Among them, there's a man named Frederick. The boy reaches that shop and gives some luggage to the shopkeeper. He gives him a pen as well, which he found in the dustbin. The boy was a great admirer of a character of a superhero in that Turbo Rider book, and wants to become like him. A man approaches Frederick in the meantime and informs him that one of our men has disappeared. He was no one else but Frederick's brother. He was arrested by the town's leader who brutally killed Frederick's brother. On the other side, the boy who got the Turbo Rider's book. He was reading the book with great pleasure by sitting on the swing. A stunning young girl arrives and seats in the next swing. She introduces herself as Apple and ties a friendship band on his hands. Later, when he sees her talking with a dead body, he becomes quite afraid and goes from there. The friendship band has activated that Apple has tied him. He tries to put it off, but he gets an electric shock during this, and he faints. On the other side, Frederick goes to the town's leader by taking his friends, so he can learn where his brother is. However, his friends try to persuade him that the town's leader is quite dangerous, and we shouldn't fight him, rather we should go for water so we can survive after taking water. Everything has turned poisonous as a result of the deadly rain, and there was no water. However, Frederick resists, and in the while, the leader's men show up. They murder Frederick's men, and after kidnapping Frederick, they take him with them. When the boy wakes up, Apple, the girl, was standing in front of him. The boy becomes delighted with this, and when he departs for searching the luggage, Apple tells him that I'll also join him. On the way, he informs her that there are some rules we must obey. First, we must keep a water bottle with us always. Secondly, we'll never go into the danger zone. And we should keep away from the dangerous people. That seems weird. On the other side, Frederick becomes quite ragged and attacks the town's leader's men, and also attacks the leader. Meanwhile, a leader's man cuts Frederick's arm. On the other side, the boy asks Apple, "Where are you from?" But the boy denies her because it was a dangerous area. The boy runs from there, but the man was chasing him now. While running, he mistakenly falls into a basement that was a spaceship. When he switches it on, he discovers that the hero of his Turbo Rider actually arrived there, but remained unsuccessful and was killed. Later, after wearing the Turbo Kid suit, comes out. He asks the man who was chasing him, "Where is Apple?" But the man seems weird. He doesn't respond to him and attacks the Turbo Kid. However, there was some energy in that suit. He blasted with it and then murdered that man. Apple was also brought where Frederick's brother was killed. The town's leader, after killing people, used to grind their body parts. He extracts the water from their body parts. This was the reason the townspeople were disappearing from here one by one. The Turbo Kid arrives there. He tells the leader, "I'm the Turbo Rider, a superhero. Free my friend, Apple, immediately. If you're a superhero, then show me your powers." He tries to attack, but the suit's battery has turned low. For this reason, he couldn't attack him. He was taken to the place where Apple and Frederick were kept. Frederick tells them that we should fight with them together. The Turbo Kid asks the town's leader to free all the people he has kidnapped. But the leader clearly rejects this, and he fires at Apple in exchange for this. Meanwhile, a man of the town's leader comes and grasps the Turbo Kid. After some time, his suit charges as well, and he kills the man. He tries to kill the leader, but his man arrives and his target misses, and it hits a gas pipe, and as a result, a massive explosion hits there, Taking an advantage of this, Apple, Frederick, and the Turbo Kid leave from there. The town's leader becomes ragged and orders to bring the Turbo Kid to him at any cost. On the other side, the Turbo Kid boy was quite shocked to see Apple, because despite being shot, she was unhurt. It reveals that she is a robot, and after seeing this he becomes afraid. He asks her, "Are you as dangerous as other robots?" She says, "No, I've been made for friendship." Because of that bullet that shot Apple, her bioelectrical meter was collapsing. She was dying gradually, and the boy again goes to that shopkeeper. From him, he used to take items in exchange. And the shopkeeper was quite afraid of the disappearance of the people. For this reason, he was fleeing from there after packing his luggage. But the Turbo Kid boy tells the shopkeeper that I need a bioelectrical meter. He tells him about a place where after going there you'll get this meter. After kidnapping the shopkeeper, a man of the leader takes him to his town's leader. He asks him about Apple and the boy. He threatens him. "If you don't tell me about them, I'll bring your intestines out." Hearing this, he becomes afraid and tells about Apple and the boy. Despite this, the leader kills him. When Apple and the boy learn this, they flee from there. They've come to a dead end. They don't have any other way to go ahead. Here, the Turbo Kid uses his powers and kills all the town leader's men one by one. But a man attacks Apple, in which her head separates. The boy reaches the danger zone after holding Apple's head. He reached the place where many bodies of the robots were placed. He holds a body of a robot and attaches Apple's head, and he faints. From there, we see the childhood scene of this boy. The town's leader had come to his parents and asked them for water. When he sees that this boy's parents have plenty of water, he threatens them. He says that you can't do anything here without my permission. This is my land. This town's leader had killed the parents of the Turbo Kid. This boy was seeing this all secretly when he was a kid, and he became quite afraid. He goes from there after taking his cycle. We come into the present scene. When he wakes up, he sees that Frederick has taken him out of the dead zone after saving him. On the other side, Apple also wakes up and she becomes happy to see herself in another dress. Frederick and the boy, when moving ahead, they see themselves surrounded by the town leader's men. Both of them confronted them with bravery and killed them one by one. A lady was about to kill the Turbo Kid, but Apple arrives in the meantime. She kills the lady, and along with this, she gives her air blaster to the Turbo Kid. The town leader shoots Apple and Frederick there. Additionally, he shoots the Turbo Kid, but he stands in front of him. Because he had a box in his pocket, the bullet didn't hit him. He attacks the leader with his air blaster and kills his men one by one. Apple wakes up again, and both of them were quite happy, believing that everything has become fine. Meanwhile, the leader wakes up. He was also a robot, not a good one but an evil robot. Even this robot has killed the man who manufactured him. He attacks the Turbo Kid with his laser beam. The Turbo Kid tosses a missile at him and attacks with his turbo blaster, and the robot dies there. Apple comes in front of the beam that was approaching the Turbo Kid. Because of the blast, water begins to emerge from the ground. The water was quite clean and drinkable. Meanwhile, Apple dies there. The Turbo Kid becomes quite upset and begins to cry. The film ends with this.